Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Here.
Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Moore.
Here.
Director Deacon.
Present.
And President Bradley.
Here, we have a quorum. I'll call the meeting in order.
From the President, PSA number 1205, Weather Forecasting Services, City of St. Louis Street Department, with whether or not in the amount of $7,800 for year one. Agreement for the electrical services for Amberg Park surveillance camera between Union Electric Company, doing business as Ameren, Missouri, and the City of St. Louis in the amount of $3,143.87. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as an emergency to repair and replace protective bollards at Grand Water Tower. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits for AT&T be approved, subject to certain conditions as follows. To place 6,000 feet of fiber optic cable through a total of 18 existing manholes. 2 manholes along Spring, 2 manholes along Spring, 2 manholes in the alley south of Olive, 2 manholes on Grand, 2 manholes on Lindell, 2 in the alley south of Lindell, 8 in the alley south of Olive. Total number of manholes is 18 for the entire route. No excavation is required. To bore and place a fiber cable 80 feet from an existing handhold at the front of 100 Arsenal Street to the side of 100 Arsenal Street. To bore starting at existing manhole located on Shenandoah at the alley west of Gravois, rear of 2111 Gravois. To bore down the alley for 145 feet, place a new 30-inch by 48-inch by 36-inch handhole and enter private property at 2125 Gravois. A fiber cable will be placed. Recommendation that the following permits for charter be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Starting at existing charter vault at corner of Argyle and York. Charter would like to bore east 150 feet to 225 Euclid. And starting at existing charter vault in the sidewalk next to 915 Bell, charter would like to bore east 200 and then place a vault. Charter would then like to bore north 300 feet to 1021 North Grand. From the Director of Public Utilities and Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, recommendation that application for City of St. Louis to allow placement in Forest Park near Upper Muni lot of temporary mobile communication towers, cells on wheels, cows, for overflow cellular communication for patrons, attendees, vendors, and emergency services and first responders during Lou Fest from August 2017 to 17 September 2017, subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. JZ Properties to subdivide land at 2207 through 09 Indiana in City Block 1383, and Birch LLC to consolidate land at 3728, 3814, and 3822 through 3846 Market in City Block 3929 and 3950. From the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, recommendation that permit for Gateway Fireworks to hold firework display September 13, 2017 in Forest Park following the St. Louis Symphony performance be approved subject to certain conditions. Recommendation that contract for catering services between the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry and Salt Plus Smoke for review and approval. The term of the contract is September 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2020 with 2 one-year renewals. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Safety, we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Michael Vicentanner, zoning plan examiner for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. per Board Order Number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 7 applications at 5259 Beacon, 2718 North 13th Street, 4043 Gravois, 2153 Salisbury, 2525 Rauschenbach, 405 North Euclid, and 4114 West Rosalie.
Are there any questions from the board on the conditional uses?
Yes, on the Rauschenbach, can you provide a little more detail about the cell tower? Only because I've been dealing with them quite a bit with some of the big events in Forest Park. Just a little bit more about it at that particular location.
It's an existing pole, and they are looking at locating some, and there are some antennas that are higher up. They're looking at locating some at, I believe it's like 90 foot on that existing pole, and then a little like something with on the ground that helps support the like a power. I'm not exactly sure what the.
I'm just curious in general.
Yeah, it's just it's an existing pole that
Okay.
that has been that there's another carrier on there, and then as a result of them co-locating on there, they had to go through the conditional use process.
Probably an unnecessary question. I was just curious. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, take a motion, please.
I move to approve. Second.
Move to approve, and there's a second. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Moore.
Aye.
Director Deacon.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, September 5th, 2017. Are there any questions, comments on the meeting minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move for approval in second. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Moore.
Aye.
Director Deacon.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on the agenda?
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded for approval. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Moore.
Aye.
Director Deacon.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Agenda's approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Good meeting, Rick.